Good morning, Roll Gang, and welcome on inside to another episode, another week of Weekday Wake and Bakes. I am your host for this Motivational Monday episode, Processor Sky, and I am so excited to bring you guys some motivational quotes so that we can get our weeks up and pumping, fired up in the proper manner, and we can start getting after this week, Roll Gang. So if this is your first time tuning in to an episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake, I am your host, Processor Sky, every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, and I am here to share some motivational quotes with you guys so that we can get our motivation up this week, Roll Gang. So without further ado, huge shout out to everybody tuning in on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You guys are all the shit. I appreciate every single one of you guys tuning in. Today, this Monday, August 22nd edition of the Weekday Wake and Bake, and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Everybody tuning in, this show is for you guys, but huge shout out to the sponsors of the show because they make things happen for us and help out you guys. So Oaksterdam University, my alma mater, my proud alma mater, is the first ever college for cannabis. That's right, Roll Gang. If you are trying to learn more about this unbelievable plant that we all know and love and smoke every weekday morning, then go to Oaksterdam University. It's a great place to learn how to grow herb. They have great horticulture courses for the cannabis-centric horticulturist. And they also have a lot of cannabis courses. If you're trying to start your own business in the industry, like the Rolling Spoon, it's a really great way to figure out and network and really just ensconce yourself in this budding industry. So, huge shout out to Oaksterdam University, name sponsor of the show, and to the Rolling Spoon Cannabis Multi-Tool. Not only does it help you roll a dime every time, but promo code Rolling Spoon, one word, will even get you 10% off at Oaksterdam University. The first ever cannabis multi-tool, OG of its kind. The Rolling Spoon help you roll a dime every time. So without further ado, Roll Gang, let's roll up some of this fine herb, some of this fine vanilla frosting, real cushy smoke that we get to smoke here on the Weekday Wake and Bake. Really excited about it, and talking about some motivational Monday motivational quotes. So Roll Gang, Mondays are hard. We have to find a way to tackle this week and begin our momentum on this week knowing that we have an entire week that we're just about to get started on. It feels a lot better whenever we've tackled, a significant part of the week, like on Wednesday or on Friday, whenever you know that you get a break coming up. But getting motivated on Monday is super important because, Roll Gang, this week we have an opportunity to change the world. Every week we have an opportunity to change the world or really just get started on it. So really enjoy coming on here every Monday and sharing some motivational quotes so that we can get some clean motivational fuel headed into the week. So the first motivational Monday quote on this episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake comes from Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius says, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." I'll repeat it real quick. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will have strength. Roll Gang, I absolutely love this quote from Marcus Aurelius because we have to learn to control our controllables. There are a lot of things. In fact, most things in life are completely out of our control. But one amazing thing is the lens in which we view this ambiguous life comes from our eyes sending messages to our brain. And guess what, Roll Gang? We are in complete control of our brain, at least most of the time, especially smoking pot. So really, I think the essence of this quote is control the controllables. Let the small stuff slide, and if there's something that's going on in your life that it's an outside factor, it's not something within your wheelhouse to control, then we just have to compartmentalize it and let it go. Every single person is going to face natural adversities. Like, there is nobody that is immune to facing adversity. The only way you could be immune to facing adversity is if you truly believe that adversity is success. You know, if you're trying to seek adversity, then maybe adversity isn't adversity. So really just you have control over your mind. That real estate is the most important real estate in your world, the real estate up between your ears. Make sure that you control what's between your ears to the best of your ability, because what goes on outside is out of your control. If you can master and harness the control of what goes on between your ears, then you can harness and control your flow of life. Marcus Aurelius with the first motivational quote: "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." So let's be strong, Roll Gang. Let's control our controllables and let all the outside factors play themselves out the way they will. It'll either go right or wrong, but the one thing is for sure, you have control over your decision making. So let's just try to make good decisions this week, Roll Gang. Yum. I have an absolutely delicious joint here this morning, Roll Gang, to smoke with you guys. I hope all the Roll Gangers are smoking some herb this morning, rolling up with their rolling spoon and having a nice wake and bake, just like every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. So on to the next quote on this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. This one comes in from Saint Exupery. Saint Exupery says, "I must endure the presence of a few caterpillars if I wish to become acquainted with the butterflies." What a deep quote. I must endure the presence of a few caterpillars if I wish to become acquainted with the butterflies. Roll Gang, I don't think this necessarily has to do with people you meet or making sacrifices of what you do with your time in order for you to build a better future. That is the case for sure, but I just think this is a great quote that captures the sentiment that everything in life is moving parts. There's nothing really sitting still. It may seem like it's sitting still to the naked eye, but everything is aging. Everything is adapting and maneuvering in this world in different ways. And there is plenty opportunities for growth. And as humans, we can't just always commit to final products. We have to find prospects. We have to find people or practices in this world that have promise for growth. You know, it may not be a butterfly when we find it, but we must endure the presence of a couple caterpillars in our life if we wish to be acquainted with the butterflies. In other words, we have to sort through some bullshit in order to reach the diamonds, for sure, because there's always going to be people, there's going to be haters, there's going to be adversities and trials that we all have to face, but we have to face them if we want the beauty of life. You know what I mean? The beauty of life comes from the adversities that we face and facing them face on, head on. So make sure that we're not just committing to butterflies, finished products, because there's really no such thing as a finished product. Let's just try to invest in the energies that we desire, the people and activities that we believe can become butterflies, because beauty isn't final. And let's turn something beautiful this week, Roll Gang. Let's help a caterpillar become a butterfly. Let's invest some time and energy in the caterpillars. It's not always the easiest, but the result is you get to be acquainted with the butterflies, the beauty. So, the beauty in life. So, huge shout out, Saint Expiry, for the quote, "I must endure the presence of a few I must endure the presence of a few caterpillars if I wish to become acquainted with the butterflies." I am getting cooked already this morning, Roll Gang. Sheesh! Just look how perfectly they burn. Spoon rolled, original. Also learned a lot of cannabis shit at Amsterdam University. That's the only graduate college that I graduated from. Amsterdam University, the first ever cannabis college. Gain your cannabis education at Amsterdam University and use promo code Rolling Spoon for a couple $100 off of your tuition. So, shout out Amsterdam University, sponsor of the show. Shout out all the Roll Gangers tuning in to this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. I absolutely love the opportunity to go live with you guys and chat about some cannabis content. Today's episode is centric on motivational quotes that'll give us the passion and the energy to tackle this week, Roll Gang. Absolutely stoked to have this Motivational Monday episode. The next quote comes from Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu says, "The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long." The flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. The essence Lao Tzu is trying to get at here is patience, pace. We need to find the right balance in all of our life, the burn temp to the burn time, in all of the factors, in loving oneself, loving others, in being humble but being confident, in being careful but being brave. Balance in life is everything, Roll Gang, and the flame that burns the brightest burns the fastest. So we need to not burn it too bright, not burn it too dim. We need to find the right balance of burn length and burn time in all of these different categories, Roll Gang. Life is all about balance, and things that we may think are opposites are actually extremely similar. Jealousy and love, it's all cut from the same cloth, and we have to find the right balance between all of the different polar opposites to try and find the right pace to tackle this life. You know what I'm saying, Roll Gang? If we burn it too hard, we're going to burn it too fast. Make sure you're setting yourself up for the future and grinding hard. Not spending all of your dopamine on one moment. Let's take our dopamine in little doses and burn this flame the way it's supposed to be burnt. Nice and easy and smooth. Lao Tzu, the flame that burns twice as bright burns half as long. I have two more quotes, Roll Gang, on this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. The first of which comes from Margaret Mead, the great Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. Margaret Mead. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. Roll Gang, that's us. That's us. That's the Chamber of Cannabis. That is the cannabis community as a whole. We have come together as a collaboration of individuals. Individuals, you are you and I am me, but we both believe in this unbelievable plant. And thoughtful, active citizens can make a massive change. And that's what we're going to do, Roll Gang. You guys know that we are seeing the change. This is a wave that isn't going to stop. The cannabis industry, and it all starts with a small group of individuals that want to see the change. And what power? Do not underestimate the power of small organized groups coming together to collaborate and change the world. It really does form some magic. Huge shout out Margaret Mead with the amazing quote, never doubt that a small group of thoughtful and committed citizens can change the world. So the last quote here on this Motivational Monday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake comes from the original Greek philosopher, Socrates. Gotta light it up, Roll Gang. Hope you guys are getting lit this morning. Hope you guys got one lit. Super hyped to be wake and baking with you. Love every single one of you guys tuning in on all of the streaming platforms for this episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. I have my final motivational quote on this Motivational Monday episode of the show. So let's use these quotes to get motivated and get after it this week. The last quote coming from Socrates. One of the smartest men in the history of humankind, Socrates, says, "The only thing that I know is that I know nothing." Roll Gang, it may not be too motivational, it may not be too uplifting, but it's the truth. The smartest of us know that we know nothing. If you go deep enough in asking why, there's no answer to every question. We don't know what we're doing here. Neither does Socrates. And, having an answer is kind of dangerous. Like believing an answer to an extreme full allows you to miss out on some certain aspects of life. Let's be open-minded, Roll Gang. We don't know shit. I'm sorry, we don't. I don't care how much you feel like you know. I feel like I know a lot. But at the end of the day, I know nothing. And that is the essence of life, Roll Gang. We have to be adaptable. We have to be understanding and learn new facets of this beautiful life. Because at the end of the day, if we're not adaptable, then every day is the same. And we're going to wake up tomorrow the same person. So, what a nightmare. The only thing that I know is that I know nothing. From Socrates, one of the smartest men of all time, really does have it figured out, but admitting that he doesn't have it figured out, and neither does anybody. None of us are a finished product, Roll Gang. We're all caterpillars going to turn into butterflies someday, so make sure that we're adapting. We don't know shit, Let's just not take it too serious this week. Let's go bring positive energy and uplift people just because it's fun. Just because it's fun. And that's what we do, Roll Gang. So I hope that you're motivated to tackle this week. I sure as hell am. Your Procession Sky with another week of Weekday Wake and Bakes coming up. Really got some exciting guests this week and really excited to sesh with them and the Roll Gang. every weekday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. You guys know exactly where to find me. I'm going to go finish the rest of this pearl that I rolled up with my original rolling spoon. And I'm going to have an awesome motivational Monday. I'm going to get the fuck after it this week. Try to learn a bunch of new shit because I don't know anything, you know? So let's try to learn something every single day. And that's just the way that we gotta flow. The hard way is the good way, you know. Don't believe anything too fully because I don't know. Lots of beliefs are right. Lots of them. Actually, all beliefs are right. Whatever you believe is exactly right to you. And I'd love to hear about it, Roll Gang. So hit up the comments. Tell me about what you believe and what you think you know. I just appreciate everybody tuning in on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You guys are all the shit. If you guys could hop on over to Facebook and give the Facebook Rolling Spoon page a quick follow, we will definitely be posting all of the Wake and Bake content. Lots of content up on Facebook, trying to build that network at rolling_spoon, or just search Rolling Spoon on Facebook. But appreciate everybody tuning in for your Processor Sky and another episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake, brought to you by the Rolling Spoon and Amsterdam University. I will see you guys tomorrow, Roll Gang. We're going to do Canon News Tuesday tomorrow instead of Thursday because we have a special guest coming on Thursday and we haven't hit any news stories in a while. So really excited to share cannabis news. Make sure you guys are tuned in 8 a.m. Pacific time tomorrow morning for Canon News Tuesday episode of the Weekday Wake and Bake. But I hope this motivational Monday hit, Roll Gang. We got to get our dose of motivation and tackle the hell out of this week. Let's get some fire under our ass, Roll Gang. So much love to you all.